Welcome back. So, I was watching the History Channel over the weekend and saw that Andrew Carnegie, yes, the same Carnegie who built over 2,500 libraries, gave away more than $350 million in his lifetime. The impact of his generosity extends well beyond his lifetime and more than likely beyond our lifetimes as well. Now, do you think Andrew donated all that at once? More than likely, no. So, let's discuss two ways that you can maximize your gifting to the charities that you love now and into the future. But first, I'm Sean.Stevenson. I'm a CFP professional and wealth associate at Confluence Financial Partners. But you're not here for me, so let's get into it. So, our third strategy is to utilize a donor advised fund, or DAF for short, which is an account that allows you to donate cash or assets, receive an immediate tax deduction, and make grants to charities over time with no requirement to distribute funds annually, unlike a foundation. There are many benefits to implementing a DAF in your charitable giving strategy, such as receiving an immediate tax deduction for contributions made to your DAF, which can allow donors to bundle charitable contributions into a single tax year, potentially maximizing your tax benefits, which is also a foreshadow for our next strategy. They also offer simplicity and flexibility, since DAFs streamline the charitable giving process by consolidating all your contributions into a single account. They also allow you to contribute all types of assets, including cash, stock, real estate, or other appreciated assets. Funds in a donor advised fund can also be invested and potentially grow tax-free, increasing the amount available for charitable grants over time. Donors can also choose to remain anonymous if desired, as grants from a DAF are typically made in the name of the fund rather than of the donor. Finally, DAFs can be used for legacy and succession planning. Since they serve as a tool for long-term charitable planning and legacy building, donors can involve family members in recommending grants and passing on philanthropic values well across generations. However, there are some drawbacks that might be important to be aware of, such as contributions to a DAF are irrevocable, meaning donors relinquish control of the assets once they're transferred into the fund. And although you might be able to dictate how your donor advised fund is invested, you can't take the funds back for yourself. Also, DAFs can only be used to donate cash or assets to 501c3 charities, and the donation has to be directly to the charity. So you can't buy theater tickets yourself and then give the tickets to your favorite charity and receive a tax deduction through your DAF. Lastly, some DAF sponsors require minimum initial contributions to establish your fund or minimum grants to make distributions, although these minimums typically are quite small. Overall, donor advised funds provide a flexible, tax-efficient way for individuals and for families to support their charitable causes, manage their philanthropic giving, and create a lasting impact that extends well beyond their community. Last but certainly not least, our fourth strategy is the one I alluded to in part one of our video series, which is bunching. If you have a high income year and you're charitably inclined, you might be a good candidate for bunching. This is where you group several years' worth of donations into 1 year. The key to bunching is ensuring your charitable donations, along with other itemizable deductions such as state and local taxes, mortgage interest, medical expenses, etc., total more than the standard deduction. That way, you'll itemize in the year that you bunch all your donations and receive a larger tax deduction and thus reduce your tax bill more than the standard deduction. And this is because you can't deduct charitable donations if you take the standard deduction. And a vehicle that can assist you with a bunching strategy is a donor advised fund, or DAF for short. Oh, how I love when planning strategies complement each other and come together. Now, let's look at an example of how the bunching strategy can work. Let's say a family that normally donates $30,000 per year, and for simplicity's sake, let's assume that it's their only itemized deduction, which is unlikely, but that's okay. Now, for 2024, they itemize their deductions for a total of $30,000. The 2024 married filing joint standard deduction is $29,200. So their charitable deduction benefit is really only $800. The $30,000 of itemized deduction minus the $29,200 standard deduction. Now, what if that family took the next 3 years worth of charitable deductions and bunched it all in 2024? So they contribute and deduct $90,000, assuming that's less than 60% of their adjusted gross income, or AGI. Now their charitable deduction benefit is $60,800 versus the $800 benefit they had before when they're itemizing donations of only $30,000. The reason this worked so well a few years ago is a family could potentially see a tax benefit of over $22,000 based on a 37% federal tax rate, and then still take the higher standard deduction for the following 3 years to continue to reduce their taxable income by the larger $29,200 standard deduction increase for inflation. So bunching can work wonders for a family that, one, are charitably inclined and they have excess cash or assets to donate all in 1 year, and two, make the donation in a high income year, whether it's a big bonus from work or maybe your sales doubled in your business. Well, there we have it. 4 ways to potentially help you maximize your charitable contributions so that you can give more in a tax efficient manner and ensure that your charities get more. So, in review, the 4 ways of maximizing your charitable contributions were to donate appreciated assets instead of cash, make qualified charitable donations or QCDs directly from your IRA, utilize a donor advised fund or a DAF, and bunch your donations into a single year, maybe even utilizing that DAF that we talked about. So I hope this was helpful, and I appreciate you watching. My vision is to continue growing this community by bringing our team's knowledge and experience directly to you. So I hope you enjoy it. Thank you, and remember, great days ahead.